It is Saturday night here, Western Australia in the Pilbara. I am standing on an airport runway right now, and behind me is Fulton Hogan. They are resurfacing this runway tonight, and we're going to show you everything about it. Before digging into the specifics here on site, let's go to voiceover Aaron to explain what the heck we're doing here in the first place and how we got here.
Our first step for this visit was getting there. Western Australia is literally halfway around the world from our Nashville, Tennessee headquarters, so it's quite the process. After a 2-hour flight to Dallas, a 17-hour flight to Melbourne, a 5-hour flight to Perth, and a 2-hour flight to Port Hedland, we'd almost made it. We met our hosts in town and made the final 2-hour drive south to the remote iron ore mine in the world-famous Pilbara region, home to more iron ore mining than anywhere else on the planet. No iron, no steel. And no steel, no modern life. So this place is a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Every mine here is fly in, fly out, or FIFO. Workers typically live in a large Australian city like Perth and commute by plane weekly or every few weeks to the mining operation they work at. To eliminate further travel, each mine typically operates its own airport with flights coming and going up to a few times daily. So that explains why an airport in the middle of nowhere needs new asphalt. Now let's meet the star of tonight's show, Fulton Hogan. Fulton Hogan is a big player in the Australian and New Zealand civil construction scenes, producing materials, repairing rail lines, and building airports. They're the top dog in the airport construction and reconstruction world here, with a long list of projects ranging from Melbourne International Airport runway work to the most remote airports in Australia. With some background, let's get on with the visit. After driving into the Pilbara, we passed through mine security, confirmed we were sober, and arrived at the Fulton Hogan site office for the nightly safety meeting.
About 6 p.m. They just did their pre-start. We got everything squared away. We took a team photo. Now the Fulton Hogan team is getting to work. As stated, they are resurfacing this existing runway. The existing runway is chip seal. So they've taken chips, they've added bitumen, they've taken chips, they've added bitumen, they've taken chips, added bitumen, and built it up layer by layer, 3 layers. That's all that's needed out here in the Pilbara. But that runway, that's not used all that often. It's not heavy traffic. It's just a few planes per day each day. It was showing signs of wear, so it needed a new surface. That's what Fulton Hogan is doing here. This is the new surface. We are at this T-junction here where the taxiway meets the runway. So the runway is right here. The taxiway then turns off and goes to the little baby airport that's just over there. This is the area they're working on tonight. So they'll be repaving this entire T area and then heading into the taxiway. This is the last bit of runway they have. Step 1, milling. The thing is, out here, the planes have to be landing every day. It has to be done at night so they're not interrupting the day-to-day air traffic so that the miners can get in and out here. But they can't pave, they can't resurface the whole runway in one night, of course, so they have to do it in sections. The challenge is this is the existing surface here, and then this is the new surface, and you can see this difference in elevation. To make up for this difference so that planes can land here during the day, they build these little ramps. But before they start paving each night, the ramps have to go. That's what the mill is doing. The mill is removing these ramps, so it's just a little bit over there, and it turns into more asphalt, temporary asphalt up until this edge, and then this is where they'll start paving. The ramp was cut out on the other side. They're gonna cut out the taxiway, so they'll have 3 clean edges on either side, and then the mill is also going down the outside edges so that everything is nice and clean. We've got tractors with brooms getting all of the millings out of here, and then the paving process can start. So this is step 1, removing the temporary asphalt that enables planes to land and take off here during the day so that they can continue putting this new surface on this runway.
Before the milling crew finished, TJ hitched a ride on the working mill for some POV footage.
All right, 7 p.m., that's the last bit of the milling right there. They have milled around the area to be paved tonight so we can get to the next step of the process. Step 2, tack, the sticky stuff.
Looks like we got ourselves a sticky situation.
Step 2 is the application of the canatotic rapid set emulsion, which he's about to start spraying now. And I'll spray that the full way across the runway just prior to we start laying the asphalt, and that provides the good bond between the asphalt and the underlying surface.
So it's just basically the glue from the old to the new.
Yeah, the glue from the old to the new, as simple as that.
Fair enough. And it goes, he'll work it all the way across eventually.
Yep, he'll work that all the way across now and get the paver in position, and we'll start paving, get some black stuff on the ground.
And then they'll spray it by hand on the edge.
Spray it by hand on the edges here where they just tie in with the asphalt on your side, yeah.
Step 3. Paving. That is the very first run right there of asphalt for tonight. Before we get to the paving though, this is tonight's canvas.
As you can see, I have a black canvas today.
Right here, the milling has been completed. We've removed that ramp. They've removed that ramp. Everybody gets upset at me for saying we. I haven't done anything. Just been talking, taking some pictures.
I don't even really work here.
Fulton Hogan has removed that ramp there. The mill's come through. They've cleaned it up. They've sprayed the tack coat across. And then we had a few guys out there with rovers laying out these lines to denote exactly where the runs of asphalt needs to go. This is a runway, everything's gotta be perfect, but Fulton Hogan is no stranger to this kind of work. They're very good. This is a very well-oiled machine. So they have laid these out, and then the paver will run down each one of them, 8 in total, to work its way across the entire runway tonight. It's about 7:30, 7:45 now. That's the first truck of asphalt. Before we check out the paving operation up close though, let's go to the on-site batch plant to see how they make that black, hot, oily stuff in the first place.
Patrol the start there with the weight roll, please.
As discussed, we're in the middle of nowhere. Usually, when you're paving a road, you can go to your local asphalt plant and say, hey, I need some asphalt. And they say,
Here you go, bucko.
but that doesn't work like that in the middle of nowhere. If you need asphalt, you've got to bring your plant with you. Fulton Hogan has a temporary asphalt batch plant, there's the one behind me, for that exact reason. Projects like this in remote areas requiring the precious black stuff. So you'll notice on each component of this plant, there are wheels. That's because this whole plant breaks down to 9 trailers, 9 loads, and then they have additional loads for some of the support equipment around the plant as well. They can haul it anywhere. This plant, it came from 4,500 kilometers away. 4,500 kilometers away, driven across Australia, set up here. The setup takes about 18 days. They'll run it for the duration of the projects. Then once they're done in about a week's time, they break it down in 12 days and send it to the next one.
Before heading back to the runway, we stopped by the plant's control room to learn more about how they're cooking up the good stuff.
So the ingredients we're working with, rocks of a few different kinds?
Oh, there's different sizes. We got,
Yeah.
there's
How many
4.
different sizes?
We've got three rock, 3 aggregates,
Okay.
2 dusts, and a sand,
Okay. So 3 aggregates, 2 dusts,
and 1 sand,
and a sand.
and bitumen.
And then bitumen
Yeah,
is what binds it all together.
that's right.
That's it.
Okay.
There's no fancy fillers or anything in this mix,
Yeah.
which is good for the area that we're in. There's no lime, anything like that.
So you select your recipe per the design,
That's right.
and then the computer tells the bins how much weight.
Yeah, so when I accept that, it
Yeah.
will tell the bins what they've got to be running at for whatever tonnage we've selected.
Okay. And then it's all dropping onto the same conveyor
Yeah,
belt.
so once I hit start, they'll just start, I think they're about 10 seconds apart,
Yeah.
and they'll just come through up the conveyor here,
Uh-huh.
and they'll go through the drum, which dries it,
Yep.
and then it comes to the outer chamber, and that's where all the bitumen's added and it's all mixed.
I'm a professional YouTuber.
I don't believe you.
Transition. We've seen the asphalt getting made. Now let's check out the paving operation in detail. So they laid this all out before they started paving.
Yep.
They're using a total station.
Yep, so we have 2 total stations set up, and that is what's giving them the numbers to be able to utilize the machine control on the paver to hit the numbers that we need to hit. So it's variable thickness throughout the mat. So paving compacted numbers of between 40 to 80 millimeters, and that's all done through the machine control on the paver.
Really? So it's all machine control, because you said earlier the thickness varies by a little bit depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
And the machine control knows what?
Knows what location the paver is on the runway and automatically adjusts the screed to be able to hit the numbers that they need to hit to get the conforming levels out here in the runway.
I see. That's pretty fancy.
Yeah, it's good technology we have.
Okay. Trucks are coming in from the plant.
Yep.
They're all live bottom trucks.
Yep.
So they're just sliding the asphalt into the front there. And you said, how long is this run?
So this run is about 90 meters here tonight.
About 90 meters.
So yes, all live bottom trucks. As you said, slides the asphalt out at the bottom.
Yeah.
And in areas on runways where we're operating in live operational environments, and having tipping trucks can be an issue because of the height restrictions we work under. So that aids us in that. It's also a safer way of doing it. There's no risk of trucks overtoppling or overturning. So.
I see.
For this project, we're just using our standard roller. So that roller is completing breakdown rolling at the minute. That's the initial bit of compaction that mat is going to get. After that, we'll use the multi-tired roller, or the pneumatic tired roller, which you can see behind you there.
Yep.
And that will aid in a minor amount of compaction, about 1% of the mat, but mainly that'll aid in surface texture and finish.
Okay.
And then we'll follow that up then with our back rolling, just to give it that final finished surface and remove any cut marks or roller marks that were left in it from the initial breakdown rolling.
How many times do you have to roll it in total?
So it's very dependent over the thickness of the asphalt and the temperature of the asphalt as well. So we utilize our PQI, which is our pavement quality indicator. So it's a machine that tells us the air voids, or in turn the compaction that's in the mat. So it can vary. In general, we're running about 6 passes for the breakdown rolling, and that's where the bulk of your compaction is coming from.
Okay.
But once again, very dependent upon the thicknesses and depths of the asphalt, temperatures, a lot of varying factors, and we have a dedicated pavement advisor who controls the compaction and rolling operation to ensure that we're achieving the compaction that we need.
They're about to take off for the third run. You can see these steel plates that they place on the previous cold asphalt that the screed is now sitting on right now. This new asphalt has a compaction factor of about 25%. So if you put the screed on the compacted asphalt, it's gonna compact by 25%, cause a divot. The new mat will be lower than the existing mat. So that's why they set it a little bit higher. It's about 25 mil higher for about 25% if it's 100 mil total. As it takes off, to give it a little bit more fluff, and then the roller will come in here, compact it to that 25% down, and it'll match this cold mat like a charm. There you go, he just removed one of the steel plates. You can see that little bit of extra fluff right there. Gonna remove the other plate. Now they're gonna come in here, they're gonna work that edge by hand. Before they roll it, they want it to be perfectly smooth, perfectly straight across. They're then gonna verify that it is smooth across there with that level. And then they're using that propane heater to heat up the tool a little bit, keep everything from sticking, and work this asphalt edge. And then you'll see the little roller come in here, roll that edge across, and then the big roller will come in and roll it all the way down once this paver is towards the end for the third run. We showed you the beginning of the run. Here is the end of the run. This is number 4. It is now 9 o'clock, so they've done half the runway, 9 p.m. They're about to finish up here. First thing is they've wet this area here, so this is done. They've already resurfaced this side as well. They're just doing in between into the taxiway tonight, as explained. This is all wet here. Water and oil don't mix. Remember science class? You try to mix them together, they don't. They've used this water here to prevent the asphalt from sticking onto this finished surface, so these skid steers can come in here and clean it real fast, because tomorrow, in not that many hours from now, maybe 12 hours from now, we're gonna have planes using this, and there can't be any inconsistencies to that surface. So they've got to remove all the excess asphalt that's coming out of the screed right now. They're gonna pick that up. You're gonna see a pile of asphalt. They're gonna have it cleaned in minutes as this paver is returning to the other side for the 5th run. That bucket, an Australian staple, the 4-in-1 bucket. Americans cannot comprehend such a contraption, but every single skid steer in this country has one of those. Crazy. That's the other skid steer out here in trademark Fulton Hogan blue. Two fun things about this little guy. One, he's got that sweeper bucket on there. So he is sweeping up the rogue asphalt. Look at that. And as he's sweeping it up, it's in there and it's pushing it into a bucket. Look at that. It all disappeared within that bucket, and then he can dump in the dump truck. They can haul it off. Second, that skid steer also has these fancy red lights that shine off both sides to warn people, hey, this is the work area of this skid steer. Stay out. Pretty nice. That guy there, he's taking a core of what they did last night. That is for quality control to ensure that this mixture, this runway, is to the CASA civil air. It's on the screen right now. I don't know what it is. The Australia's version of the FAA, to make sure it's up to the necessary specifications, because this is a runway, it's got to be perfect. So that will then be removed and taken to the lab, which we will see right now. On-site lab, right next to the batch plant.
That's correct, yep.
And this is all for quality control. And then there's like 2-ish tests. You have fresh stuff, and then you've got
so we've
hard
got
stuff.
So fresh stuff, we do a couple of tests on it here. So what we're doing is
which is like this.
So samples come in.
It's
we'll
still
get
warm.
Probably about 20 kilos bucket of this.
Yeah.
So we'll take a sample, we'll split it down. Small couple of kilo sample goes, and we do what's called bitumen content and grading. So we use solvent, strip off the bitumen, measure how much bitumen's in there, and then we do an aggregate grading, which is basically sieving the material over different sieve sizes.
Yeah, so you're essentially just taking the
cake, and we're breaking it down and making sure it matches what we designed with.
Exactly, yeah. You're taking the cake at like strategic points out
Through
there.
the lake, yep.
Do you take it from the trucks, or do you take it from the plant?
So load into trucks, and then it's taken out of the trucks, not out of the plant.
Okay.
And that's really just around safety. So it's safe to take it out of the trucks. Marshall test, it tests the strength. It's done at a set temperature. You're measuring how much it sort of deforms before it fails. So how much flow, how much it moves. And,
I see.
And a strength in kilonewtons. So
I did all this stuff in college, but I forgot it all.
So all of this stuff is actually based on the old American standards.
Yeah.
And a lot of the airport stuff is actually still, we've just got a tighter version of the FAA spec, the American specification.
Okay.
Just so, same as what would be done in the US, but just a slightly tighter tolerances on it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build or resurface a runway in the middle of absolutely nowhere, Western Australia. It's about 10:30, so we are going to go back to town, which is about a 2-hour drive. It's gonna be a late night, already is a late night. Thank you so much to Fulton Hogan. They have been fantastic. I have been looking forward to seeing Fulton Hogan work for years now. This has been spectacular. The team was unbelievable. The access was great. I have not one complaint. I'm a happy camper. I hope you're a happy camper too. I hope you enjoyed the video. Also, thank you to our channel sponsor, Ariat, before we go, and we'll see you on the next one. Stay dirty, everybody.